Behind the cars, between the cars, in the parks. Everything is picked up by hand.
Berlin's streets and parks increasingly resemble a garbage dump. Holding those responsible can be risky.
Twice people tried to run me over with their cars. One person smashed my thumb.
City waste, park and forest workers, as well as citizen groups, battle the mountains of trash every day.
We clean it up on Friday, but on Saturday evening it looks exactly the same again. Come look back here for a second. All this trash is just being tossed over there, right next to the River Spree.
We're hitting the streets with garbage investigators employed by the Berlin district of Friedrichshain-Kreuzberg.
This is how it usually looks here. It's being cleaned up over there, but over here it's still full of trash. It won't be long before this is full of trash too. Yeah, it's just sad.
Patrick and Erik are waste watchers. Their job is to keep the neighborhood clean and help keep garbage off the street.
We have several teams on duty, and we are out 3 or 4 times a week. Everything from small bits of litter to dumped waste. Sometimes it feels like fighting a losing battle.
They patrol the district's litter hotspots. They're out in plain clothes to catch offenders in the act whenever possible. On Rigaer Straße, they find plenty of illegally dumped waste on the sidewalks.
Free to take. Take me with you. Typical. Across the street there's a bathtub, a chair, a small cabinet. I bet if you walked down this street, you'd have almost enough to furnish a house. It's just dumped there. Nobody cares anymore.
Then, the 2 investigators stumble upon a hot lead that takes them straight to the person responsible.
I'll look at the box. Wait a minute. We've got something here. Yes, 101 Rigaer Straße. We've definitely found the person responsible. Maybe he'll come down. It's a nice idea putting things out to give away, but it's illegal.
The person responsible for the trash will have to pay a fine. The supposedly good deed is a punishable offense. When it comes to fighting trash, the waste watchers are not shy. For them, trash is a treasure trove of clues.
It's important that we can find something. Luckily, we have gloves. Rummaging through someone else's trash isn't pleasant. But we do it so we can find the person responsible. You always have to be careful what you touch. We found syringes before, sharp objects, disgusting stuff. You can't be afraid to get your hands dirty. Let's take a look over there, that canister I saw. There's a school and a kindergarten right across the street. This really shouldn't be happening. As we can see here, it's hazardous material. I don't know why someone would leave this here. It's obvious that kids shouldn't play with it. Unbelievable. We'll take this with us and dispose of it properly.
On to the Warschauer Bridge. Here they catch a litterer red-handed.
He threw a cigarette on the ground, so we're going to go over there to take his information. Hello. We're from the district of Friedrichshain-Kreuzberg. Please turn off the music. The cigarette you just smoked doesn't belong on the ground. It constitutes a public offense. You may make a statement, but you don't have to. I need to see your ID, please. Is this address still current?
The offender faces a fine of 250 euros. He reacts calmly, but that's not always the case.
Personally, I've been attacked multiple times. Twice, people tried to run me over with their cars. One person smashed my thumb. It's something you just have to deal with. You can't let it get to you.
Berlin resident Tommy Holper had had enough of the trash on his doorstep. So he decided to make reporting trash easier. He found the city's app too difficult to use.
It always takes a little longer. You have to stop, you have to enter the data, and at some point I realized that I no longer had the energy to report it every time there was something lying around. And I thought, there has to be an easier way.
So he developed his own reporting app. The idea is simple. Take a photo, share your location, and the trash is reported to the local authorities.
I myself am from the Netherlands, and it was never like that there. 20 years ago, when there was trash lying around my school, the local government just put out giant trash bins, so it was clear to everyone where the trash belonged. And somehow those pragmatic solutions are missing here.
A map shows where the trash hotspots are, especially in Wedding. Tommy Holper hopes that if it's not a hassle to report trash, more people will participate, and the trash will be cleaned up faster. One of the worst spots is a street near Volkspark Rehberger, where illegal commercial waste is dumped, as one resident explains.
I got here yesterday morning. All of these old building materials were left here, and they're full of asbestos. They just dumped them in the park.
Hello everyone, my name is Valerie. I'm the one who maybe you saw on RBB. I started that all.
Sunday morning in Berlin-Wedding. About 30 volunteers get instructions from Valeria Tansereva. She founded the Sauber initiative a year ago out of frustration with the trash on her doorstep.
No one cleaned it up. So I thought, maybe I can do it myself. So I bought gloves, I bought trash bags, and, well, I just cleaned it up myself.
She posted a video of her cleanup effort online, and the response was overwhelming.
I posted it as an Insta story saying, yeah, I cleaned up a bit today. And I got so many responses, more than 1,000.
The volunteers collect everything. In coordination with Berlin Waste Management Authority, the trash is left at the curb for pickup. During each cleanup, they count how many bags are filled.
A lot of people think I'm doing these cleanups just for myself, because I want to be famous, to be well known. Absolutely not. I don't want anything to do with the trash.
Who wants to be famous because he is cleaning the trash and shit? No one.
Over and over again, they find trash related to drug use. It reminds them of how important their work is.
That's from drugs. So when they buy drugs, it comes in these little bags. Look, right next to the playground.
These community cleanups aren't just about picking up trash. They're about sending the message that Berliners can't let their city fall apart. Dozens of people now show up for every cleanup. One of them is Stefan Turm, and he's seen it all.
The most absurd, but also the best find, was a gramophone from the 1920s. It was almost in perfect condition. We pulled it out from somewhere deep in the bushes. But we were constantly finding all sorts of stuff. It's like some people are clearing out their entire apartment and dumping everything on the street. But that was definitely the best find.
Today, however, all they find is ordinary trash.
I think we'll definitely get this park clean. It's pretty rough right now. Obviously a place that's been pretty much abandoned. But it'll look better again after this.
After more than 3 hours of picking up trash, everyone is a little exhausted, but pleased. They collected 98 trash bags today, and the park is noticeably cleaner.
It feels really good to do this yourself. It gives you a sense that you can make a difference, that you're part of the solution, not the problem. Plus, you're a part of a really great group of people, and it's fun.
The professionals from Berlin's Waste Management Service have to tackle the really big stuff.
Everywhere from tree to tree, ordinary household trash.
A unit of the Berlin City Cleaning Department is out every day to remove illegally dumped trash from the streets. The 5-person team handles bulky waste, electronic waste, and construction debris. They use big equipment: a truck meant for bulky waste, a compactor, and a dumpster truck with a crane.
Now we're turning onto a street where a lot of industrial waste is dumped. Yes, unfortunately, it always looks like this here. We clean it up on Friday, but on Saturday evening, it looks the same again.
There's no reason for anyone in Berlin to throw their trash on the street. There are 14 recycling centers where most household waste can be dropped off for free. Commercial waste, on the other hand, must be disposed of properly. And that, of course, costs money. So, a lot of large items and electronic waste end up on the street.
Now we have a refrigerator. This happens every day, unfortunately. We have to go out and clear the streets of this stuff every day. This is already the 5th one today.
And it's only 9 in the morning. The work is physically demanding.
Behind the cars, between the cars, in the parks, everything is picked up by hand. Load it all up, then unload it again. We don't use much machinery. It's all done by hand. Waste oil poured into a water bottle. Here's another one. These are from car repair shops. We always find car tires and various car parts here.
50 liters of waste oil will now be properly disposed of. Andreas Kutschan has been doing this for 35 years and has seen a lot. But he's still sometimes shocked by how people behave.
And they even see us and still throw their trash on the street right in front of us. And if you say something to them about it, they don't even react.
It doesn't appear that mindsets are changing anytime soon. So, if it weren't for the help of the city workers and volunteers, Berlin would probably end up drowning in a sea of trash.